Hey guys, my name is Art. What's up? This is a video. Um, wow. Okay, this is some news that I came across recently, and plus one of my main homes, Dynamite Kid 100, asked me about this as well. Okay, as about Spider-Man. Now, number one, Spider-Man. I'm gonna tell you right now, Spider-Man is my most favorite superhero. It's been that ever since I was a kid. I used to have I started reading comics in like 73, 74 ish, so I'm like almost 50. So I've been reading Spider-Man comics way back when it was like, when comics was like 35 cents. Yeah, something like that. Now, see, I got the Spider-Man watch right here. My brother gave me that. I have yet to even wear this because I'm too afraid to wear it. Whatever. But like I said, it's funny. But what happened is that for years there was a Spider-Man TV show in the '70s, which is by today's standards is stupid and it's sucky and it's campy and hokey. But back then it was like cutting edge. All right, so mostly Spider-Man had cartoons, no big deal. Spider-Man becomes popular, all the stuff happens. He's always been a popular comic book character, and somehow or another, years later, a company named Sony bought the movie rights to Spider-Man. Because what happened was Hollywood, like 25 years ago, was running out of ideas. Running out of ideas. Hold on a second. Oh, they were running out of ideas. So a lot of companies, Fox, Sony, Lionsgate, I think Lionsgate. What happened is they bought the movie rights to a lot of Marvel characters. Now Warner Brothers never had that problem. DC never had that problem because Warner Brothers owns them. So they don't have to sell it off. They have their own little problems, but Marvel has a lot of problems. So now, funny thing is, a lot of these rights was bought out 20 something years ago, right before the 2000s. So at the first Spider-Man movie that came out was Sam Raimi's like classic 2000. Was it 2000 or 2001? Amazing Spider-Man. Now that trilogy starred Tobey Maguire. Think about it, done by Sony. The first two movies was great. The third movie of the trilogy was like, not the best, but you understand. And that's considered a classic. Years later, they decided to reboot it, and it was directed by Mark Webb with Andrew Garfield. They did two movies. Now, the thing is, the first movie was pretty decent. The second movie was not so bad. Now, before I go any further, the first trilogy of Sam Raimi, the Spider-Man origin story, that Sam Raimi's version of his origin was almost true and exact like the comic. Almost exactly true like the comic. Except for around, they changed a little thing. In the third one, they changed the whole thing a little bit, which kind of miffed a lot of people, but we understood. Okay? The second reboot with Andrew Garfield, they retold the story. They changed the origin story. You know, in my opinion, so you had someone to compare now. Tobey Maguire was a great Peter Parker, but a very sucky Spider-Man in my opinion. Andrew Garfield was a sucky Peter Parker, but a good Spider-Man. So, and the funny thing is, that's how it was. The second movie with Andrew Garfield wasn't the best, but it was pretty decent at most. They changed a lot. They had Spider Man still in, they started with Spider Man in high school. Comic book, he started off in high school. He was a nerd. Never got the girl or anything like that. The only problem was Mary Jane wasn't in the picture until he went to college. In high school, he didn't have any girlfriends. He had no romantic leads or anything like that. All that started when he went to college and he started growing up a bit. That's when he started having romantic leads and romantic liaisons. So them changing up is just something to appease the romantics, get the ladies to go. See, things comic books is usually is 60% men and boys who read them, 40% girls now reading them now. It's getting up there. So to get the girl interest, like for example, my friend, his daughters, they hate these Marvel movies, but they like the main guys, and they love the little I love the little romantic story. Okay, that's the only reason why they go, but that's okay. Now, what happened was after the second one, Andrew Garfield got canned because he just opened his mouth and started ripping on how Spider-Man, what the movies was, and everything else. Okay. Years later, the Marvel Cinematic Universe starts blowing up. Fox had the X-Men. Of course, if you know the X-Men, the first trilogy, the first two was great. Third one, we must stand or we must fall, whatever. That's kind of sucked. I did a not a review of that, but I showed you the 3-pack DVDs. Fantastic Four, by Fox. The first movie was really good. The second movie kind of sucked. I showed you the DVDs of that as well. Wolverine, his first movie Origins was great. The second movie, shoot, I forgot what the second movie was called. I forgot, but it was okay. The third movie Logan was like the best. And of course, Deadpool, both of those movies was off the wall, rip roaring, funny, hilarious. Let's get back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The fans wanted Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The fans wanted it. What happened to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? For the most part, they listened to the fans. They, the people who are, not just the casual people who just watch the movie and that's it. I'm talking to people who actually buy the comic books. Like this. Okay? They listened to them and they said, okay, let's see if we can get Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sony said no, because we own the rights to him. And they was in negotiations for years to get this made. And then what happened was Sony says, okay, we'll let Spider-Man come to the cinematic universe. When fans like me heard about it, I was ecstatic. I was like jumping up for joy. I was screaming like a little girl, like, ee! All this other stuff. But we didn't know when he was going to make his appearance. When we heard that he was going to make an appearance in the third Captain America movie, Civil War, that's when he said, oh. That's what he said. It was all on and popping. And then when he debuted there, I swear, in the Civil War, the opening weekend, we was there the opening weekend. When Spider-Man first appeared there, the whole crowd was screaming. I mean, everybody was screaming, jumping off the seats, yeah, and stuff like that. I was like, yeah. I was screaming like that too. He was only in that movie for a brief second, but the thing is, it was enough. Then because of that, then they said, okay, let's make him into the actual universe now. Now, what happened was the Spider-Man they have now with Tom Holland, in my opinion, he's the best Spider-Man because he, just like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield put together, equals him. Now, what happened was some people might think, oh, he's kind of a wuss. He's in high school. He has the high school thing. He's a kid. He's playing a kid. He's playing a high school kid. How many high school kids are so independent? Not much. They're looking for a father figure. Yeah, I May used to be old, and now it's Marissa Tomei. Okay, I can live with that. I like Marissa Tomei. A lot of people like Marissa Tomei. Not a problem. But they changed it a bit because what happened, there was a line of comics called the Ultimate Spider-Man from the Ultimate Universe. There was an alternate universe in which Peter Parker's parent was still dead, but Aunt May, Uncle Ben and Aunt May wasn't old and like senior citizens. They were like middle aged, close to senior citizens. So they was a lot younger. So they borrowed a lot from that idea. They tied him with Tony Stark because it was the easiest way for him to get into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So for so for that, because Robert Downey was like, I'm out of here soon. I'm just gonna make guest appearance. So it was the way to bridge Spider-Man into it. Now, Sony and Marvel Cinematic Universe is fighting right now over the rights of Spider-Man. Now think about this. Marvel does not get a dime for the Spider-Man movies. From what I remember, Marvel doesn't get a dime. Sony gets all the money. So, and from what I'm reading more, it's more about production. Who who's producing the production credit? So Sony gets all the production, even though Marvel did the whole. Marvel did Homecoming. All of his appearance, Sony did not do anything. They just loaned it to him. So I think Marvel's saying we should get credit for producing this, and Sony said no. And I think that's what's going on. But do I believe Marvel? Here's the thing: if Sony decides to pull Spider-Man out, because the thing is, I'm not sure how long Sony has the contract to them. They had it for almost 20 years. So if Sony decides to make another movie, they can tie it. They can try to tie it to Venom, which a lot of Venom fans like myself, because they dropped the Venom movie and then Venom 2 is coming out. So because Venom is a Spider-Man villain, they should tie them together. But if not, 9 times out of 10 that movie's gonna suck because the other. Now, the thing is, Spider-Man has 7 movies. Three Sam Raimi's. I forgot his name. Tobey Maguire. 2 Andrew Garfield. That's 5, and 2 with Tom Holland. That's 7 movies, and majority of the people consider the Tom Holland versions much better movies. Some people might not like that, but a lot of people do. And plus, it was funny because those 2 movies did better than the other 5. Just saying. But, that's my take on it. I should be getting ready to go to bed pretty soon because I got a retirement seminar tomorrow morning. And it's an all day thing. And I'll see if I can retire in 7 years. Most likely I'll probably retire when I'm 60 something. That's when I'm planning on it. But one can dream. But anyway, most people who encounter Spider-Man encountered him when he was an adult. I read him on off when he was a teenager. So I'm not too much worried about that. uh, of course, you cannot have a literal translation of the comic book character in this medium. You have to change it up a bit. You have to. You have to change it up a bit. It's just some unwritten rule. Otherwise, it'd be too hokey. But anyway, that's enough for me for tonight. Talk to you guys later.